Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Flame Emperor episode number 464 based on novel. So let's start. The dust-covered Phoenix Island was extremely quiet, and now only Zuna, Xiao Yan and the others stood here, and the entire void was filled with dead silence. Here, even the flow of time seems to be extremely slow and blurred. 1 year. For a whole year, Xiao Yan had been sitting here with his eyes closed. The blood-red energy liquid had already been completely swallowed by Xiao Yang. Therefore, in addition to the extremely thick cyan dragon scales permeating Xiao Yang's skin today, there are also faint fiery red phoenix lines emerging in it, which sets off his body extremely gorgeously, and the whole body reveals a world that is about to be destroyed. Terrible power, almost. At the same time, Xiao Yang's eyes closed for countless years slowly opened, and an ancient energy ripple, like a sleeping ancient dragon, overflowed everywhere, making this extremely stable void buzzing. Boom! Almost as soon as Xiao Yang opened his eyes, above the void of Phoenix Island, a blood-colored thundercloud cut through all the defenses of Phoenix Island, and descended here with a majestic destructive energy. Above the distant sky, the blood-colored clouds kept wriggling and gathering together. They seemed to come from a distant place, and a very slight thunderous sound lingered faintly in this world. When this low-pitched thunder sounded, the power in Xiao Yang's whole body became extremely strange, and even his heart beat uncontrollably. This seemingly extremely weak, almost negligible blood-colored thundercloud exudes a terrifying wave that makes Xiao Yang dizzy. In the past, the thunder that was drawn from the refining of medicinal pills by himself was as cowardly and ridiculous as a newborn baby under this kind of thunder disaster. This kind of thunder tribulation power that contains supreme power, I am afraid that from ancient times to the present, the only people Xiao Yang has seen and heard that can be compared with it are the people of the Thunder Master. After a while, the quiet blood-colored thundercloud rolled up, and a deep and extremely deep blood-colored void appeared in the center of the densely packed blood-colored thundercloud. The blood-colored void seemed to gather the power of countless thunders, and muffled thunder sounded, completely igniting the atmosphere of this dead Phoenix Island. The aura of destruction emanating from the inside out actually caused the hairs on Xiao Yang's body to stand up, and a thick crisis swept out. Reincarnation robbery. It seems that the liquid contained in those blood-red crystal blocks has helped me break through the shackles of reincarnation. Next, as long as I can successfully receive the reincarnation calamity, I can enter the first layer of reincarnation. However, the power of this reincarnation robbery is indeed one of the most powerful forces in the world. If there is no means, it is very likely to completely fall under the reincarnation robbery. No wonder the reincarnation level powerhouses are already standing at the top of the world. Crowd. Looking at the terrifying situation with thunderclouds rolling in the sky, Xiao Yang did not have any fear at the corners of his mouth. On the contrary, there was a rare touch of relief and enthusiasm. In order to wait to officially step into the first reincarnation stage, I have waited for too long. Only with continuous improvement in strength, the reincarnation flame of the heavenly Tao and the homeland of the Xiao clan can go to investigate. Countless powers in Xiao Yang's body began to tumble, and powers such as glass-colored holy flames, dragon transformation, and fighting spirits emerged. In the endless and deep blood-colored void above the sky, a blood-colored thunder column suddenly condensed out. The blood-colored thunder column just condensed, and the energy between the whole world seemed to be summoned by some kind of call, and it swept its interior one after another. That seemingly bland attack is probably enough to destroy the real reincarnation-level powerhouse. Come on. Samsara tribulation. Seeing such a vast attack, Xiao Yang held countless majestic energies in his hands. This time, he did not use his lower body, but integrated all the power in his body. Countless forces invaded the palm of the hand, and the palm of the hand was pushed out, the world changed color, and the entire void was scattered. Boom! An extremely tyrannical storm of destruction raged out from the center of the battle, and in this Phoenix Island, a huge crackling sound resounded throughout the whirl. But no matter what kind of terrifying attack Samsara Jie unleashed, when it came into contact with Xiao Yang's body, it was first slowly weakened by countless forces, and finally slowly poured into Xiao Yang's body. What is even more strange is that the terrifying fluctuations of Xiao Yang's fairy's return robbery did not leave any traces of broken crystal blocks in the Phoenix Island. I don't know how long it took, the thunderclouds disappeared from the sky, and a rare fragrant scent on the ground suddenly spread from a shadow beside the throne. At the same time, 10 flaming golden crows lingered by golden flames were directly entrenched on the top of Zuna's head in the state of retreat and cultivation, and after a while, they were strung between the latter's eyebrows. At this moment, a beautiful golden rune is like a divine object that has crossed the ancient time, blooming with a sacred brilliance. Success. Time passed for a while, and suddenly a light and cheerful voice filled the air. Zana. Reincarnation tribulation. Xiao Yang's brows wrinkled, and a very pleasant sound came from his skin, and he swept towards Zana in an instant, trying to resist this terrifying thunder tribulation for the latter. Hee hee. Brother Xiao Yang, look at me. Seeing Xiao Yang's worried expression, Zana's eyes stretched slightly, and the golden light of Samsara appeared between her brows, and a majestic and tall phantom was crawling behind her. Break it for me. The sound of juicy drinking poured out, Zana raised her slender hand, and the five-legged golden crow shot out from the divine weapon bracelet. With the blessing of many forces, she rushed towards the reincarnation robbery that was taking shape in the sky. Bang bang bang. The five-legged golden crow was extremely fast. It had just arrived in front of the thundercloud of Samsara tribulation, and then stretched out his palm surrounded by countless ancient golden flames, and gently attacked the core of the thundercloud of Samsara tribulation. The seemingly terrifying reincarnation robbery, this time, with the cooperation of Wuzu Jinwu and Zana, the blood-colored thundercloud above the entire sky suddenly stiffened, and at almost the same time, clumps of powder fell from the thundercloud. The reincarnation calamity is completely destroyed here. Hee hee. Brother Xiao Yang. After doing all this, Zana flickered to Xiao Yang's side like a flame elf. Well, it's a reincarnation step. Zana is still amazing. Seeing this, Xiao Yang's hearty voice sounded, and he embraced Zana with his big hands. This scene was quite warm. Brother Xiao Yang has also reached the first level of reincarnation. The next road. Zana will follow you. Zana felt the warm, high voice in front of her and said with a smile. Junior Xiao Yang Junior Jiu Zana. Thank you to the Phoenix clan, and the senior Feng Luani patriarch gave a great gift. Senior Zhu Xianhua master's memory has been conveyed. The next time we meet, it should be in the Sea of Reincarnation. Senior, take care. As soon as the words fell, Xiao Yang took Zana and completely disappeared here. As for the last sentence, it was obviously because of the seal of reincarnation that Zana deliberately said to the woman on the throne. 9 Xian. With the departure of Xiao Yang and the two, the sound of cracks appeared in this dusty Phoenix Island, which was obviously a sign of some ancient creature before it woke up. As for Bingzuo and Bingfeng, because of their identity as mourners, they stayed in Phoenix Island to protect this place. Feng Qin and others also had their own destiny. This is the end of the Phoenix family. After leaving the Phoenix Island, in order to prevent the location of the Phoenix Island from being exposed, Xiao Yang and Zana did not hesitate to expend an extremely majestic power of holy flame to completely seal the void, so that the Phoenix family could continue to be dusty, but they didn't know. When will this self-confidence end? And the day it ends will be the time when the Phoenix clan will return to the site of the Great Thousand World. However, the current strength of Xiao Yang and the two are at the first level of reincarnation. It is neither a quasi-first level reincarnation level nor a reincarnation level. It is reasonable that one person can achieve this because of the blood-red liquid, and the other person can achieve this because of the power of the reincarnation seal. After everything was done, Xiao Yang waved it casually, and a time wormhole crack appeared on Phoenix Island. The two no longer hesitated, stepped into it together, and left here. Xiao Yang's body has become more terrifying after being tempered by Samsara tribulation, and Zana has also completely stabilized the reincarnation seal. After a long time, the Samsara seal will be perfectly realized, and his strength will reach the level of the 9 profound Fire Lord. As for the five-legged golden crow, it was also nourished by the power of reincarnation, and its strength has recovered to the level of the 4th level reincarnation. With the reincarnation seal and the increase of the artifact bracelet, I am afraid that within the 4th level reincarnation, Zana is already an invincible existence. There is a vague tendency to suppress Xiao Yang. Although Xiao Yang felt a little helpless in his heart, he could only smile bitterly, but he was extremely satisfied with this trip to Phoenix. In this way, the two left Phoenix Island, stepped into the cracks in time and space, and prepared to go back towards the endless fire territory. In the dark crack of time, in the dim void, streamers appear from time to time. After all, this is a time-space wormhole and the common stronghold of the world, so intermittently, there will be other powerhouses tearing time from various planes and entering here, make a long-distance crossing of the void. However, the strong people who can enter the time-space wormhole are at least at the reincarnation level, and the weak are very likely to be involved in the time-space turbulence. In that case, even the reincarnation powerhouse cannot protect themselves. After all, the time-space turbulence is the world one of the most powerful and mysterious forces. In the silent spacetime wormhole, a circle of black energy ripples suddenly rippled in the void, and then a strange black hole suddenly emerged from the edge, and a crack spread out from the black hole. This kind of trace naturally indicates that someone has torn apart the spacetime wormhole and is about to step into it. Brother Xiao Yang, this kind of breath. Zun Erdai frowned. This kind of aura was too familiar to their Saint Flame controller. That's the wave of evil. Xiao Yang's eyes also became serious. The huge soul power wrapped the two of them, forming an energy shackle to hide their bodies perfectly in the spacetime wormhole. Damn it. It's my turn to go to the devil world. The other two guys have a good plan. But those maddened guys in the demon world, no matter what the comfort of the world, for them, power is absolute, so the demon world is not comparable to those in the human world. I hope this trip goes smoothly. Once the demon world demon venerable agrees with the benefits we promised, the war between heaven and earth can also be the first to start, ha ha ha. When the army from outside the territory arrives, this world will eventually return to the hands of the evil gods. In the dark black hole, a figure walked out. This guy was surrounded by a layer of pitch-black evil mist, which made people feel a chilling feeling at first glance. This guy doesn't seem to be a real alien race. Xiao Yang and Zuna hid in the void, and followed the latter little by little. With the familiarity and perception of the evil clan outside the realm, Xiao Yang discovered some problems. Spacetime wormholes can only be entered by human beings. Once the evil race outside the territory appears, it will probably resonate with the 7 realms. However, if this guy is a human, but has some evil power in his body, then it is another matter. Brother Xiao Yang, now. Zuna didn't have a good solution for a while, so she could only look at Xiao Yang. There is no specific news about the reincarnation flame of the heavenly Tao, so don't be in a hurry to refine the medicine pill. The traces of the Dragon Clan and other places are too hard to find, so we can only slow down temporarily. What we need now is opportunity and strength. Whether it's for ourselves or this world, the devil world, this guy said, it seems that we must go there. Zuna, what do you think? After Xiao Yang thought about it carefully, he still decided to do this. After all, it was related to the whole world. As the lord of the endless fire territory, Xiao Yang had no reason to stand by. Under the cover of the nest, how can there be a complete egg? First go to the Sin Cave to bring that person out, and then go to the devil world together. That way, you will have a better chance of winning. Devil. Poison God Palace, Susu. The eerie voice was particularly harsh. After taking a good breath, the dark shadow looked around, and when he was sure that there were no other suspicious persons around him, he waved it casually, and a black hole appeared at his feet. The shadow jumped into it and disappeared. Sin. Xiao Yang looked at each other and followed. In the faint void, the endless black aura invaded here like a stick of viscous demonic energy. An extremely sharp wind breaking through the sky suddenly appeared here. Master of the Department of Major Sins. Several respectful voices came from the black mist above the ground. Are people still there? The figure said something lightly. The person is still there, and the other 2 adults have bound him, waiting for the adults to lead to the demon realm for negotiation. With the existence of this guy, this time our cooperation with the demon world will definitely be easy. The guard figure spoke slightly. Let's lead the way. The voice fell. Several people walked towards the interior of the underground hall one after another. A lair of sin. In the past, most of the sinners were some 8-star fighting immortals. This reincarnation rank is probably one of the top big men in sin. 3 major sinners. Xiao Yang nodded, his expression a little solemn. The power of sin is similar to the Soul Palace in Dochi continent, spreading throughout the entire Great Thousand Worlds like moths. Their predecessors were human beings, but they were just running dogs in the body of human beings and serving affairs for foreign evil races. Go. Hihi, it's resolved. Just after Xiao Yang finished speaking, Zuna's speed was extremely fast, and in a flash of golden flames, many of the guards guarding the entrance of the Sin Cave Hall were instantly evaporated. In front of this dark and barren land, a sunken cave palace appeared under the land, and there were even traces of black light spots floating around, which contained a sinister and evil fluctuation. In this case, the entire station looked unusually gloomy. This is the place where sin resides, and it is also the lair of sin, specially used to imprison and suppress some key figures, and the one in front of him is one of the 3 most important sinners, Chingfong Mingxi. As for its specific strength, I am afraid it is hard to imagine. Under the reconciled earth, a series of terrifying and strange voices continued to sound, stinging the hearts of the 2 people continuously. In this dark hall sunken under the ground, The path leading to the Hall of Sin cave is a large piece of extremely empty black soil. There are piles of white bones on the surface of the soil. The gloomy and cold demonic wind continued to emerge, making people in a trance. Zana, be careful, the place of sin is probably very heavily guarded. Looking into the depths of the passage, the evil blood mist filled the air. The blood mist was filled with a strange power, which made Xiao Yang's vision extremely blurred. Even if they used their soul power to perceive, they could not penetrate slightest. Even the power of the soul just came into contact with these strange blood mists, and was swallowed by them in an instant. Seeing this, Zana also nodded her head, knowing the importance of the matter. There is only one road in the dark blood fog passage, but as Xiao Yang and the two advance, they can occasionally see bundles of blood-colored halos slowly falling off the surrounding soil, and in the blink of an eye, they turn into patrolling guards to guard. Deep Hall. The blood-colored soil, the blood mist, the evil forces, the figures, and the scenes in front of them are all impacting their hearts, but the two of them are also people who have seen big scenes. Quietly using the cover and help of their soul power, they walk towards the interior. The strength of these guards is almost below the 8-star Dozian, so Xiao Yang and the two infiltrated into the depths of the Sin Cave very lightly. What a weird hall. In the depths of the Sin Cave, there is no blood mist or patrolling figures, only a simple black stone gate stands in front of it. Above the black stone gate, a strange and extremely evil power pervaded, faintly making Xiao Yang feel a strange distortion. Tear it up. I don't know where the screaming sound came from, which made this monotonous bronze stone door look particularly gloomy and cold. Combined with the situation here, it was quite a creepy illusion. That guy's breath just disappeared here. Xiao Yang's eyes kept scanning, but he didn't find anything. Obviously, that guy probably entered the hall in front of him. Sin is really a strange force. Looking at this quaint black door in front of her, Zana's eyes wrinkled. The divine weapon bracelet and the holy flame in her body conveyed an extremely powerful repulsion at the same time. All kinds of fluctuations seemed to tell Zana that the things in the hall in front of her were probably not something simple. Oh, the whole body of this hall is actually set with a prison force. Just approaching the stone gate of the main hall, a huge repulsive force pushed Xiao Yang's body, repelling him away from the outside world little by little. Xiao Yang, who was able to push aside the strength of the first layer of reincarnation, the power contained in the hall is probably self-evident. Zana, back away a little. Forget it, it's better to be safe. Xiao Yang was just about to start tearing the prison, but the next moment he shook his head. To be on the safe side, be cautious. After all, this is the den of sin. If something happens, the situation of the two of them will be in jeopardy. Zana looked at Xiao Yang with some doubts. Immediately, an ancient core inscription slowly appeared on Xiao Yang's chest. Just as it appeared that there was no other action, Xiao Yang mobilized his majestic spiritual power, poured it into it little by little, and made its ancient lines a little by little embellished. At the same time, one after another invisible array pattern was engraved by Xiao Ming, and then a light array quietly entrenched in Xiao Yang's palm, but the pattern engraved in it was more than anything Zana had seen before. And much larger. What a terrifying coercion of the formation. Seeing the formation of such a terrifying number of lines in Xiao Yang's hands, Zana inevitably felt a palpitation in her heart. Today's Xiao Yang, after the transformation of Phoenix Island, his spiritual strength has reached a new level, and it is enough to display 400,000 core formation patterns. It is not too much to use this power to deal with ordinary 4-layer reincarnation powerhouses. However, the disadvantages of the formation masters are also obvious. Similar to Xiao Yang, now, only relying on the strength of the fighting formation masters can already be on a par with the powerhouses of the 4th level of reincarnation. But the power of the formation technique, every time it is used, it takes a lot of time to recover. Nowadays, every time Xiao Yang uses the power of the formation, he cannot use it for a month. After all, the spiritual power is not as good as the soul power. This kind of thing is too mysterious. Once used, it takes a lot of time to recover. Although there are such drawbacks, the Array Master is also one of Xiao Yang's trump cards. Combined with the power of the lower body and the Holy Flame, in a short time of battle, within the 4th tier, he is almost invincible. The Demon Array of the Heavens. After a while, Xiao Yang's palms rolled, and a dazzling formation was slowly ejected. Immediately, with the black hall as the center, a mysterious formation of rays of light completely enveloped the surrounding. This level of power is naturally to prevent disturbing the strong among the other sins. After doing all this, Xiao Yang just gave Zana a wink. Go! The two looked at each other, and when the formation began to transfer, they turned into a ray of light and swept away into the Black Hall. On the periphery of the Black Hall, there is the protection of the All-Heaven Demon Formation. Unless you encounter a 4-layer reincarnation level peak powerhouse, there will be no problems in a short period of time. Xiao Yang's approach seems to be ready to wipe out the so-called Great Sin Division. Boom. He didn't open all the stone doors of the Black Hall rashly, but just tore a crack, and a strange sound wave spread out from it. When resisting this fluctuation head-on, a tingling sensation on the scalp poured out. After pouring into the interior of the hall, the majestic soul spreads. Without the strange blood mist, the situation in this hall was easily controlled by Xiao Yang. The whole of the main hall is impressively a long strip long in front and back, with a circular field in the middle, and two extremely obscure and terrifying fluctuations are also transmitted from the center of the main hall. Go to the center first. Looking at the edge of the faint hall, surrounded by dark stone pillars, Xiao Yang frowned and said hurriedly, "He, poisonous woman, I never thought that you would end up in our hands in the end." Chingfong Mingxi was bathed in black robes, and he couldn't see any specific outlines at all, but under the black robes, there was a hint of a mocking smile. "Poison woman? A person from the Devil's Poison Palace?" Xiao Yang and the two hid in the dark. Zuna listened to Chingfong Mingxi speak, but she couldn't help but speak in surprise. With the existence of the reincarnation seal, coupled with the fact that the reincarnation seal is firmly touched in the Phoenix Island, the reincarnation of the 9 profound Fire Lord has begun, and a lot of memories and powers have emerged little by little. Zuna naturally knows a lot about the great world. Matter. And the conversation between the two in front of them, in which the word poisonous woman is one of the most memorable forces in the reincarnation seal of the 9 profound Fire Lord. The demon realm, the poison god palace, and the power of poison art resounded throughout the world. It is said that there were 5 or 6 reincarnation-level powerhouses who offended the poison god palace. Those powerhouses had not had time to exert any power, yet they easily fell to the poison god. In the hands of the palace master, demon palace of poison. With the cover of their soul power, Xiao Yang and the two were perfectly hidden behind the dark stone pillar, but after hearing the words of the figure in front of him and Zuna, Xiao Yang spoke in somewhat surprised manner. The great 1,000 worlds are divided into 7 realms. Each of the 7 realms is too huge, and even Xiao Yang's understanding of other realms has limitations. According to legend, most of the demon worlds are human beings with bad intentions. They only have the fanaticism of power in their hearts, and they can't be compared with the humans in our human world. Therefore, among the 7 worlds, the demon world has always been the most contradictory. The place, Poison God Palace, Demon God Palace, are the 2 most powerful forces in the devil world. There are countless disciples under the 2 forces, and almost the entire devil world is captured. Zuna covered the corners of her mouth with her palm and leaned against Xiao Yang's ear to open her mouth softly, telling the information that had leaked out of her reincarnation seal. The core layer of the Poison God Palace is basically similar to the situation of the Little Doctor Immortal, but the Devil God Palace in this demon world, in terms of poison, is probably much more tyrannical than the Little Doctor Immortal. There are rumors in the palace that there is a peerless poison that can't be cured. Once it is contaminated, even the reincarnation powerhouse will only be saddened. Zuna continued to speak, her voice very solemn. Yun, Little Doctor Immortal, Zi Yang. Hearing Zuna's words, Xiao Yang couldn't help clenching his fists tightly. After the 5 emperors stepped into the air, Zi Yang and the old Dragon Emperor have no news yet. Fortunately, the soul imprint on the soul jade in the body is still beating slowly, which is enough to prove that they are not in crisis. Afterwards, after returning to Dochi continent in Zadu to fight against the outside world, Yun and Xiao Yixian disappeared mysteriously during the catastrophe, and no one knew their whereabouts and their lives were in danger. The 2 of them were once the guides on Xiao Yang's road, so it's not an exaggeration to say that they were confidants, but now that they disappeared, they were naturally breathless for Xiao Yang like a mountain. In any case, these 4 people must be found. This is also one of the biggest knots in Xiao Yang's heart at present. Brother Xiao Yang, it's okay, we will find them sooner or later. Sensing the change in Xiao Yang's mood, Zuna slowly pulled Xiao Yang with her palm, comforting the latter. At the same time, Zuna had used her actual actions to prove her position. Well, let's settle the current matter first. After sweeping away other thoughts in his mind, he focused his attention on the circular hall in front of him. In the main hall, there were spooky and eerie breaths lingering, and in addition to the Chingfong Mingxi, who was dressed in black robes, in the center of the main hall, there was an old man, a poisonous woman, who was bound by 6 chains. The 6 chains are grayish-white, and there is an ancient evil wave in them, which imprisoned the figure's hands, feet, head, and chest in 6 places, making it impossible to move. The imprisoned poisonous woman was covered in green mist, and her bright dark green hair fell down, completely covering her entire face, but even so, Xiao Yan was able to vaguely discover that this guy's strength is definitely not trivia. Humph, a group of lackeys from the evil race from outside the realm. After a while, the 6 chains made an extremely harsh surging sound, and a disdainful sound came from the central figure. If it hadn't been useful to keep you, I'm afraid you'd be a corpse now. What about the poisonous woman in the Poison God Palace? It didn't fall into my hands in the end. Chingfong Mingxi was not annoyed by the cynicism of the poisonous woman, and said slowly, although we are in the devil world, we people in the devil world, unlike you worms in the world, want to use me as a bargaining chip to threaten the Poison God Palace. Just dream. After the poisonous woman finished speaking, an extremely deep green mist suddenly surged around her body, and then a strange fragrance spread throughout the hall. This mist is poisonous. Xiao Yang looked shocked, and hurriedly increased the protection of his soul power, but the next moment, a strange thing happened. Those strange poisonous mists had just spread, and they actually devoured Xiao Yang's soul power to protect the two of them. As expected, he is a strong man in the Poison God Palace, but that's it. Chingfong Mingyin. Facing the poisonous mist attack of the poisonous woman, Chingfong Mingxi released a contemptuous smile under his black robe. After blinking his eyes, he folded his palms together, and an extremely mysterious handprint was formed, and the terrifying power of reincarnation permeated. Boom! The cyan wind print roared and roared, easily turning the poisonous mist upside down. Tiny. After doing all this, Chingfong Mingxi sneered and walked towards the poisonous woman slowly. No, I can't hold on anymore. As soon as Xiao Yang's voice fell, the power of his soul was instantly eaten up by the remaining poisonous mist, and the two figures appeared in the hall without reservation. Oh! It's really funny that some annoying flies came in. Suddenly, Xiao Yang felt that he was being stared at by a pair of extremely cold eyes, and a long-lost heart palpitations emerged from the bottom of his heart. Go ahead and grab him. At this time, Xiao Yang had no need to hide and tuck. After all, the outside of the main hall was already shrouded in Xiao Yang's formation, and it would be difficult to measure this great crime even with wings attached. Xiao Yang took a step forward, and then spit out the corner of his mouth. The glass-colored flame instantly turned the entire hall into a sea of fire. In the sea of fire, the poisonous mist gradually weakened, and even a sacred burning sensation caused the black-robed Chingfong Mingxi's body trembled slightly. The controller of the holy flame. At this moment, Chingfong Mingxi's calm composure disappeared cleanly, and a dignified touch filled his heart. Because with his power and perception, he discovered the terrifying fluctuations hidden in the glazed flames with just a glance, and that kind of power is a deadly threat to him. Looking for death. Chingfong Mingxi's gloomy gaze locked on Xiao Yang and Zuna, and then stretched out his palm from the black robe. Tear it up. On the palm of the hand, terrifying creatures like worms are constantly wriggling in their flesh and blood. Just when Chingfong Ming acted like this, on the palm of Xiao Yang's palm, the dark underworld priest who had been silent for a long time suddenly made a very cheerful sound of joy, as if he had encountered a companion who belonged to the same world. Boom! Chingfong Mingxi suddenly raised his palm, waved it, and after he breathed, it turned into countless dark evil lights, carrying this strange creature, and blasting away at Xiao Yang. In the black evil light, there are all these strange creatures. During the movement, the void of the hall was eroded and collapsed. This is a worm. At this moment, the poisonous woman who was tightly bound in the center of the hall shrank slightly, looking at the strange creatures hidden in the black evil light, lost her voice. A ghost. Although Xiao Yang was startled in his heart, he did not dare to underestimate this strange attack. He hurriedly activated the burning dew in his body, and a steady stream of holy flames poured out of his body, completely turning the entire hall into a sea of holy flames. The glazed raging fire scorched the evil-looking hall, and a scorching sensation came over the face. At the same time, the dark ghosts poured out uncontrollably, and then guarded the two of them like a knight, staring closely at the black horns that attacked their faces. His eyes were filled with a terrifying coercion that could be learned from the heavens and the earth. Without any flinch, his eyes directly stared at those worms. The underworld worm hidden in the evil light is like an evil silkworm. As soon as it came to Xiao Yang's side, it was intercepted by the dark underworld warrior and could not move at all. The next moment, a black flame was ignited on the body of the dark underworld master and these underworld insects at the same time. The black flame was invisible and colorless, but it gave Xiao Yang an extremely terrifying pressure. Although that kind of power is different from Shenyang, the fluctuations contained in it make Xiao Yang move. That is the unique power of the underworld. The two were so stalemate, it seemed that they had entered some extremely strange state. The power of the underworld! Xiao Yang and Zuna exclaimed at the same time, and then looked at the dark underworld warrior and underworld insect with solemn eyes. A creature from the underworld! At the same time, Chingfong Mingxi in the distance made a sound of great astonishment. Although the strength of the dark underworld is only at the level of 8-star fighting immortals, it is after all a creature from the underworld. The underworld creatures have a mysterious relationship that attracts each other since childhood. Now the dark underworld has completely attracted his own underworld worm, which will undoubtedly resolve his attack. And open. The power of the worm is enough to easily devour any powerhouse at the same level. The dark sage's move undoubtedly cut off a left arm of Chingfong's sect. Little beast, caught death. When he realized that the worm that was enough to devour everything was intercepted by the dark sage, Chingfong Mingxi's complexion turned gloomy and cold, and then he slowly raised his hands. Wind blades kept emerging. Give me death. Countless wind blades appeared, the void in the entire hall became quiet, and then energy ripples filled the hall. Almost at the same time, Chingfong Mingxi suddenly raised his palm to suppress Xiao Yang, countless wind blades humming around, and the void roared endlessly, instantly reflecting countless terrifying wind marks, blasting away at Xiao Yang's location. A strong wind attribute. Xiao Yang looked at Chingfong Mingxi's terrifying attack, and was slightly surprised at first, then smiled slowly, raised his palm, and countless brilliant glazed colors emerged, easily intertwined with the latter's attack. Boom! A terrifying hurricane and flames swept across the hall. Unfortunately, this terrifying explosion only lasted for a few breaths, and the wind blade completely evaporated and melted under the glass-colored flame. Incorporating so many holy flames, in terms of the power of light, even the power of divine weapons is slightly inferior in this world. Underworld strike. After realizing that the glass-colored flames on Xiao Yang's body were extraordinary, Chingfong Mingxi frowned, and then the wind attribute energy suddenly withdrew. Xiao Yang chilled and left. Compared with me in soul power, Yu Mingtian is stunned. Even if this kind of soul fighting skill is unable to deal with the same level powerhouse, if the soul power is detected too much, it will still cause extreme backlash in the eyes. Brother Xiao Yang, this is a soul attack. Zuna frowned, and saw the invisible fluctuations around Chingfong Mingxi's body, and there was a huge pressure faintly coming, and he hurriedly turned his head. A crisp chirping sounded, and suddenly two soul forces slammed into the void of the main hall, and they slowly disappeared after a while. Humph. Really interesting, Junior. But the breath of these two people seems to be somewhat the same as the breath of that girl. Is it a coincidence? My holy maiden of Poison God Palace must not have an accident. No, you must be careful. Looking at Xiao Yang, who was able to fight with the big Sin Sai Chingfong Ming Sai in the field, the poison woman who was tightly bound by the chains raised her head slightly, and with the help of some gaps covering her slender hair, she could smell the two. Some breath in people. He was just muttering to the last moment, but he still kept his vigilance towards Xiao Yang and the two of them. After all, the matter of the holy maiden of the Poison God Palace was of great importance, and there was no room for any mistakes. Damn it! The successive attacks were disintegrated by Xiao Yang, and the corners of Chingfong Mingsui's mouth, who had always been arrogant, suddenly became crazy. Xiao Yang is clearly the strength of the first reincarnation rank, but why is his dignified quasi-third reincarnation rank power so helpless against this guy? When did the absolute gap in Samsara's strength become so small? The so-called Department of Major Sins is nothing more than that. There was a glass-colored flame beating in Xiao Yang's eyes, and the power in his body was constantly accumulating, and he immediately made an understatement. Little beast. If you do something bad to me, I'll let you know what real power is. Sacrificial, evil tool, jade blood hand. A maddened smile appeared on Chingfong Mingxi's face, and then a pitch-black, white-boned arm slowly protruded from the black robe. Just as the arm was protruding out, there were worms crawling on it, and the traces of twisting and wriggling were quite suffocating and terrifying. Be careful, Junior, this is an evil tool that has been tempered by the evil gods, and its power is extremely tyrannical. With the appearance of the jade bloodhand, the poisonous woman in the distance suddenly shouted loudly, "Let this seat use the 28th evil tool to kill you, etc. will not be able to live up to your status as the controller of the holy flame. Suffer to death." After Chingfong Mingxi finished speaking, jade-colored luster appeared on his body, and then slowly poured into the blood jade-colored white bone arm. The evil tool, actually overlapped with his arm. Xuna's expression was solemn, and it was obvious that she could smell an extremely sharp fluctuation from it. Let me try it. When Xiao Yang saw this, the blood in his body finally ceased to be silent. His blood vessels slowly beat and became hot. Layers of glazed flames and cyan scales spread out, increasing Xiao Yang's aura to its peak. Grumble. With the evil tool blessing on his arm, Chingfong Mingxi's eyes were filled with a gleam of blood, and then he waved his arms at will, and the void in the entire hall actually buzzed. With this ranked 28th evil tool, the Jade Bloodhand can actually bless your body abruptly. The identity and status of this Chingfong Ming division is indeed worthy of being a major Sin division, but because of this, Xiao Yang's expectations for him are getting stronger and stronger. One of the top officers of the crime, this time we must catch him and interrogate some useful information. Information about the alien race. This video will end here.